was 1940 and Mr. and Aunt Shanaman had just finished high school and worked for Betsy Ross potato chips. Not many jobs were available, so Mr. Shanaman and his friend had decided that enlisting would be better off than being drafted into any field. When they enlisted, they wanted to be in the Marines.
And a buddy of mine, but neither one of us could pass the Marines, so we wanted to go somewhere, so we went next door to the Navy, and I passed the Navy, but my buddy had flat feet, so the Navy wouldn't take him.
Mr. Shanaman then decided to join the Navy, and his friend chose the Army. In November 1940, Mr. Shanaman left home for duty. He took tests so that the Navy knew what he was good at. His worst score was in mechanical aptitude, but that's where they placed him. He had to go to machinist school to learn in Dearborn, Michigan. The machinists went to the same school as 1st and 12th graders did. The children talked to them and would even try to take their hats from them. Without their hats on, they were considered as if they were out of uniform. They were at the school for about 3 months. Then they were sent to Newport, Rhode Island, to be assigned to their ships. Mr. Shanaman was officially assigned to the USS Medusa, a repair ship. The USS Medusa was stationed at Pearl Harbor. When he first got to Hawaii, it was like paradise. 3 days after Thanksgiving, the fleet was sent out on war maneuvers and weren't supposed to come back until a week before Christmas. The war maneuvers were called off early, and the USS Medusa had to go back to the port. It usually docked next to the USS Arizona, but they were called to fix the USS Enterprise, so they docked next to it instead. The USS Enterprise wasn't there yet, so they had to wait. This turned out to be one of the luckiest things.
8 o'clock Liberty started, and I was in my whites waiting for Liberty to start at 8 o'clock. 5 minutes of 8, the general alarm goes off. We looked at each other. Somebody pushed the wrong button. Nobody moved. So they bring the button again and say, "Man your battle stations, men. This is no drill, this is war." And we looked at each other and said, what will they think of next to get us to go to battle station? And nobody moved. They ring the alarm again, and shortly after that we heard a loud noise and a boom, and the ship rocked a little. We all moved then.
Mr. Shanaman went to his battle station, which was on the boat deck aft. It was the top high part of the ship at the back. He ran his way there. He couldn't believe his eyes.
I couldn't believe all the planes that were flying around. And they flew that low, because nobody was shooting back at them, that you could see the pilots smile at you when they went past.
They even tried shooting him, so he lay down. When he got up, though, he was directly in between the bullet holes in the planks. He thought about hiding, but there were consequences for abandoning battle stations. From the top deck, he could see most of the damage. The USS Medusa was really lucky. The Japanese went mainly for the battleships and cruisers. The crew could see most, and just about all, of the sinking ships. The USS Arizona was a big hit, and if they had been anchored next to it, they would have gone down as well. Then an officer came to Mr. Shanaman then. He asked, "What is your battle station?" Mr. Shanaman simply answered, "Look out, sir. If they can't see them now, they're blind." "I agree with you, sir." The ammunition hoist broke down. Go down to the magazine and help carry up ammunition to the 3-inch gun. The magazine was the lowest deck of the ship. Mr. Shanaman was glad to move and ran down 5 decks. While he was waiting, he heard the loudspeaker again. "Submarine, dead astern." He wanted to be topside then, so he grabbed the gun shell and ran up there. Right on the USS Medusa's fantail was a 2-man submarine. They shot them right through the conning tower, where the periscope is controlled, and were sunk.